Welcome to the new episode of Clay Shooter TV, and indeed in today's show we're going to look at top tips for sporting clay targets. So we're getting ready to go shooting. We want to up our game. We want to shoot at our best level. How do we get started? How do we get set up? Well, I'm just going to start with some real simple basics. Now, a lot of you have probably already covered this, but just for those that might not have, let's just do a little run through. Kit. Now, comes down to personal preference. You want to feel comfortable. Footwear, even trousers, skirt, shooting vest, padding in the vest, a jacket where you can move your arms, where you can clearly or cleanly mount the gun. All of this plays a huge part in feeling comfortable, which is then going to add to confidence and that, general feeling of well-being. Okay, so you're feeling good. Hopefully you've had a good night's sleep as well, and you haven't nailed a load of bread first in the morning, giving you a carb coma. Right, gun mount. Now, again, this is sort of basics. Be clear with how you mount the gun and how you shoot. All right, so whether you're pre-mounted, gun down, or the sort of half gun down, the bit in the middle, make sure that you've taken time to hone that skill. So you're either in the cheek ready, gun right down, or just that little half measure. You want to go into the stand already being aware of this, not reacting to a target. Okay, so be clear on how you stand, how the gun's positioned, and how that relates to what you're trying to shoot. So you're now ready, you're in the stand, you're comfy, you're clear on your approach. Target reading. What are you presented with? Now, obviously we'll all be aware of, an away target, a crossing target, quartering, driven, etc., etc. And obviously those come in different size clays and battus and so on and so forth. But how do we actually read a target? You could have shot at your local club, and smashed the hell out of a crosser, totally all over it. And then you go somewhere else and you're presented with something that's faster, longer distance, further out. Or maybe it's slightly quartering, not a true quartering, but maybe it's sort of a variant on a theme. So the key here, and I think this is actually one of the parts where we're always learning, always sort of absorbing information, is actually target reading. It's very easy to shoot where you think it's going and not where it's actually going. And unfortunately, I can't give you the sort of secret formula for that. It really is time spent and practice. Now, the more targets you shoot, obviously the more familiar you're going to become. And some people have a natural sort of ability to kill certain targets and maybe find they get stuck on others. Some people love driven but can't hit an away target. Some people love crossers but they can't hit a rabbit. So largely this is all psychology or psychological, should I say. So it requires practice. All I can really say on that is, to repeat myself, is time spent. If you've got a nemesis target, the quartering away that's slightly looping and dropping, try your best to hit that stand on different shoots. And by hit it, I mean get on it and practice. Start tight, start on the target, start increasing lead. But make sure that this end is absolutely generic. We want to do the fact finding out there. We don't want to be changing this end, because if we change this end, then the whole thing's totally random, and it's going to end up in a really sort of frustrating exercise. So target reading, really interesting. Start basic. Start looking at crossers. Start looking at where you see it, where you might pick it up, where you might kill it. Concentrate on speed. Most things seem a lot quicker. They're actually a lot slower than they seem. So take time to watch the line. The trap setter's always going to try and catch you out. That's what they do. They want to trick you to make you think it's doing one thing when it's actually doing something else. Again, with all these things, start steady, start slow, and then start pushing the boundaries. Okay, so really target reading, a real asset, a bit of a challenge to get under the belt, but not impossible. So just down to time spent. So you've worked on your target reading, you know, you're feeling confident. Approach. How do you approach a target? Well, again, this is a huge subject with loads of detail, but I'm going to try and, as ever, just give you a general feel, which of course you will probably largely personalise. Okay, coming up to a target, sporting target, let's assume there's a light competition, okay? So there's already an added pressure that we really want to deliver and hit the clay, as opposed to it just being a friendly Sunday morning or whatever. This does link to target reading, because obviously approach is stance, remembering how we mount, and actually how we relate that to a specific target. So I'm going to pluck an example. You've come up to a stand, you've got an away target, and then you've got something quartering. Okay? Now, the away, one might pre-mount, because we want to see it, touch, bang, get rid of it, chop it off, get the score or the point on the scorecard. Very quickly after that, we might have some quartering thing flicking out. So now we're going to have to change our feet. We might want to bring the gun half gun down, because we need a bit more of a visual to pick it up, to connect, to move, shoot, and so on. So target reading, approach on a target really are sort of linked together. Everybody's different. Some people are reactive. Some people have a bit more flow, a bit calmer. One's neither better than the other, it's just personal. So you need to be really clear on where you see where your gun is ready, i.e. on a pick-up point, on a hold point, where you see it, pick up, move to your hold, and then on to your kill. Don't necessarily follow the person that was in front of you. Look at the target, read the target. Oh, that clay comes out really quickly, peaks and then drops. There's a little marker over there, something, a tree, a bush, I don't know, anything. Set yourself up for that, irrespective of what he or she did before you, and then put your focus into practice. Now, I remember seeing Mr. Digweed, who most of you will have heard of, I'm sure, talking on one of his shoots years and years ago, that he actually set his footwork up for a B target, because the A target was quite simple. So A, bang, then he's round in a nice position for the awkward target to then kill that. So there's another thing to think about. If I've got an away, and I'm really good on aways, but I've got this something naughty up here, I might line up on that, but come back for my away, bang, pick it off, and then I'm set up for the second shot. Just a little idea on a theme, okay? Shot set up, just have in mind, simple points, feet, be aware of your approach. Don't come in and start shooting gun down if it's something you can clip off quite quickly. Use your mental program that you've honed so that you're shooting at your best. The biggest challenge, once we've got all these bits in place and we're rolling, is when we come up against a target, and I'm talking now in practice, not in a competition, I hope, when we really can't find the target. And I mentioned a moment ago about not changing your stance. Now here running the school, we sometimes have, shooters, they find a target they can't hit, they get a bit frustrated. Let's just talk as a simple example. Or they feel they're missing, behind. So it's got to be more lead. So they start giving more lead and they're still missing. I'm gunned down. Well, let's put the gun up here so I don't have the mount involved now and still give a big lead. And basically what they're doing is disappearing down some sort of weird track, which is, well, not weird, but some sort of really high labour track, very frustrating. And actually they're disappearing off further and further away from, a successful shot. If you can take a breather, and it sounds obvious, if you can take a breather, you're on that target, you're on that stand, it's not working, all right? Stop for a moment, have a breather. Now, for me, to state the obvious, I might leave it. I might go on to something else. I wouldn't necessarily go to an easy stand and rebuild confidence straight away, but I'd just sort of cleanse the palate. Try something else, go to a different stand, make a note. Must come back to that, works in progress. The mindset, should be fixed, we know, but moods, feelings can change. You know, we can be fractionally different as people, you know, every single day. There could be lots of stuff going on outside of, you know, shooting, life itself. Who knows? We all carry a load of, you know, rubbish sometimes in our head. So maybe a new day, a fresh approach, you know, largely can give very different results. If you find that you've gone in and you're, you know, you've had your couscous salad for breakfast and you're full of beans, you've drunk water, you've slept for 12 hours, your clothing's perfect fit and everything's king, and you're still not hitting the target, then my obvious, you know, comment to that would be then maybe get a little bit of guidance. You know, get that second person theory. You might have a friend or a mate who can smash that stand. Maybe take some advice from them. Don't necessarily follow their style, but just to get an understanding. If you're feeling really strong, you and yourself can pull back to basics. Let's think about how we shoot. Okay, we're half gun down and we shoot pull away. Right, okay, so let's make sure we're half gun down. We're kill, hold, pick up, technically all in place. And the target's going to come out and we're going to mount on and pull away and we miss it. Fine. So let's think about our timing and maybe thinking about extending the lead slightly, but be really clear we do that. We don't speed up, we don't slow down. It's about managing the continuity. And what I'm trying to say is we could slowly from zero push out each shot to find the lead, to find the picture. Ah, eureka moment, got it, it's there. And it's a self-fix. But if that really doesn't happen, then obviously my comment would be find an instructor, find a good instructor, find an instructor that understands you and gets you to shoot at your best, not how the instructor does it. That's a really key point, and I don't want to belittle anybody, but we're all very different. So we need to ensure we've got someone firstly that we can, you know, relate to, just on a basic level, and then secondly that's going to take you, hone you, and get you to shoot at your best. So just to summarise, pull back from it, have a breather, go and have a cup of tea, whatever, or maybe come back another day. Be absolutely clear in your approach that you haven't made a slight, you know, adjustment, because a small adjustment in this end can have a big reaction out there. Work through the paces, hopefully then you'll get it, but if by chance you don't, find someone who has a different idea, who can then sort of get you to the point of success, which is really, you know, all we're looking for. So just to conclude with today's show, as a final note, and it's a big one and I'm not a psychologist, is confidence. All the points I've talked about, I feel, add to your confidence. And I know it sounds silly, but I'll repeat, feeling good in what you're wearing even. You know, if you turn up in a silly pair of trousers and ill-fitting jacket, you're probably going to feel like everybody sees your silly trousers and your ill-fitting jacket. Technically, I'd say they probably wouldn't, but this is a personal thing because we're talking about your confidence, not anybody else's. So, feeling good, feeling like you feel comfortable in your skin, in your clothes. You've done your mount, you've got your cartridges, you've got a little loose plan, all right? Just say you're new to the game. You've got a loose idea, and that's good enough because you don't need loads of detail because that's, you know, fraught with fail. Keep it really simple. Go to your first competition. Well, there's the obvious, scenario to that, and even Adam, the cameraman, suggested the same. Shoot with friends. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You've got your crew, some people you know, you can go along, you know, you can miss, you can hit, no problem. If you want to push yourself and you go to say a registered, I think largely you would be squadded and therefore you will be put with 3, 4, 5 people that you've never met before. Now, if you're on a circuit, you become familiar, but remember that squad, they might not know each other either. Yes, they could be different levels of shooter and shooteress, but they're all individual people, okay? And they all want to shoot at their best. So in effect, they've all got a personal pressure. This might floor a lot of this. I'm not a competition shooter, I'm an instructor. But if I know a lot of shooters, I've only ever found the large percentage to be utterly supportive. So I wouldn't mind betting, and certainly from the coaches and the shooters that we have here at the school, largely speaking, if you were put in a squad on a registered shoot, you've introduced yourself, hey, I'm new to the game, or I've only been shooting a couple of years, you're going to get a feeling of support. Yeah, there might be shots there that are better than you, of course there will, but there's always someone better and there's always someone worse. But I wouldn't mind betting that very quickly you'll see that actually what you thought was an issue, if you cut it in half, cut that in half and then take a small piece, that's actually normally the reality. And the people there will actually be supportive and on your side. So it's that initial case of just actually getting out, make that first step, and then I think you'll find that the rest will be a lot simpler. Just harking back to clothing, a small point, although some may see this as a massive point, again, personal preference. I didn't mention eyewear. Obviously, generic safety is, hat, ears and eyes. But by eyewear, I mean coloured lenses. Some people just like clear. Some people like tinted. There's obviously yellow, amber, red, and those colours add a value to making the target really clear when the sky is a specific colour. So you could almost put that into your practice training, for me, it's a bit overcast. I like that sort of reddy colour lens, but I might have a tinted one in case the cloud moves and the sun comes out. A minor thing, but simple just to carry, a couple of interchangeable lenses. But confidence is it's an amazing thing. It's key to all success, and I would imagine it's very difficult if you are someone who doesn't feel overly confident. But I would say just push that first step. Push that first step, and I think you'll then see that there's a huge amount of wonder out there to be harnessed. Now remember that the top shots, the hims and hers, they look great now. They're hitting the 99, the 100 straight, the whatever. They've done the ability. Yeah, some of them practice, some of them don't, but they've got the ability. So now theirs is 100% psychology. A lot of those might have sports psychologists and people that they talk to keep their mind, online. Totally different game, but they still need that help and that little bit of support. So again, have it in your mind, whether you're down here starting or whether you're up there on top of your game, most of us all need that little bit of extra help. So what I'm trying to say is don't see it as a weakness, just see it as the same thing, but in different stages. So do you know what? Just throw care to the wind, get out there, give it a go. And one little trick you can do is if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, just imagine everybody's naked, all right? And that can put a different light on things. But other than that, enjoy your shooting, always stay safe, and I'll look forward to seeing you again on the next episode of Clay Shooter TV.
Today's competition tip is all about nerves, and this one is more about being kind to yourself than anything else. It is absolutely fine to be nervous when you're shooting training and shooting competition. I shoot at World Cups and World Championships and I get nervous all the time, and you just need to remember to use that as your superpower. Getting nervous when you're shooting is a sign that you care, and that is absolutely fantastic. When you stop caring, it's time to stop shooting, because this is a sport that it can be very expensive, and so you need to stay passionate about it and focus on enjoying the journey and not just focusing on the destination. You can use nerves to power your process and your routine. So for example, when I'm shooting, because I get nervous, it means I have to be more disciplined with how I'm talking to myself, what my process is, and really doing a run through before I get onto the range as to exactly what I need to expect from myself and do on that round to perform really, really well.
From breaking targets to breaking stories, you're now watching Clay Shooter TV News. The Home Office is shortly expected to deliver a statement on firearms licensing following the conclusion of the coroner's inquest on the Keyham shootings. BASC has devised a so-called Keyham test that it believes the Home Office should apply to every recommendation announced by the Minister. In essence, the Keyham test is to assess whether each proposal could have stopped the Keyham shootings from occurring or could help prevent a further tragedy. By using it in this way, the Keyham test will allow for improvements to be made to firearms licensing whilst not disproportionately impeding legal activities. There are several majors coming up this month for our more competitive viewers. Bywell Shooting Ground hosts their annual Down the Line weekend from the 9th to 11th of June. The English Open ABT will be held at the National Clay Shooting Centre on the 24th and 25th of June, and the big one, the World English Sporting, will be held at EJ Churchill from the 3rd to the 8th of July. Another event not to be missed is the Beretta World Sporting, which will be held at Windwhistle Farm in Wiltshire from the 23rd to the 25th of June. This event has run for over 30 years and attracts over 1,000 entries. Let us know which ones you'll be attending in the comments below. The only Ian Coley Open Day of the year will be held at the end of this month on the 24th of June, offering you a chance to take a look around the new cafe and event space and their extended sporting layout. As well as the opportunity to try any of their 400 second-hand guns, there is the chance to win a Beretta A300 worth £1,250 in a Dirty Dozen challenge, plus lots of other fun competitions and a have-a-go stand for new shooters. Drop in and see how you get on. Entry is free. And finally, we have put together a brand new complete guide to clay shooting containing everything you need to know about clay shooting in 2023. The bookazine features gun reviews, technique advice, information on the best shooting grounds in the country, and some incredible competitions, including the chance to win a Browning 525 shotgun. Get your hands on a copy via the link below the video. That's all the news for today. Let's head over to Drennan for his gun and gear reviews.
Good morning, welcome to Oakhead Shooting Ground here in Staffordshire, the UK. And today we're going to be reviewing the Beretta UGB25. I keep getting asked a lot to do a review on a UGB25 because I shoot one professionally. So I shoot this particular one most days, and I have done for years. Now, it hasn't really got a good reputation, it's a bit like a Range Rover, but the negative and adverse comments about it are actually not really founded, and I'm going to come to that why. This gun has got such a bad reputation when actually it's one of the most reliable guns I've ever used, and I use them, as I said, professionally. Now, have I done any good with one of these UGBs over the years? Well, this particular one here has got a world record, fastest 25 clays, which has now been beaten by an American. And guess which gun he used? A Beretta UGB25. It is like no other gun in the world I've ever shot. It sounds horrible, I'll be honest. When you're opening and closing it, it sounds like, well, like a Meccano set really. But when it's closed, it's solid, absolutely solid. These guns will only work if you use quality ammunition. If you put a 21 gram shell in that, it really won't work. And then it jams up, and when they jam, they really jam. But I'm going to show you how to open one when it does jam, because I get quite a few emails from people saying, can you show a video how to open a UGB when it's jammed? So we're going to do that, you'll see that in a bit. I've won so much with this gun. I've won British champion. Okay, it was a team event, but I'm still British champion with this gun. Coronation Cup of Great Britain, West Midlands champion. Silver in the English, silver in the British. There's lots. So yeah, they do work if you know how to use them. What's the bad points? Well, there is a few bad points, let's be honest. It's not absolutely a perfect gun, although the UGB stands for Ultimate Gun Beretta, and for me it is an ultimate gun. If you've owned one of these, you probably find that the comb came loose and the bits fell apart. Well, that happened to mine, this one here, and I just changed it for a different aftermarket one, and it's never moved since. Now, I also use this for game shooting as well, because look, it breaks. You load one in the breech, one on the side. So this particular kind of semi-auto ejects out the bottom. It was designed actually originally, I believe, for the American market, because the American trap shooters didn't like empty cartridges hitting them. So that's why it ejects out the bottom. It's also probably the fastest loading gun, 12 gauge gun, that you can get. If you click on this link below, when the IT department put it in here, wherever it is, it'll take you to see me in a video of breaking the world record and how fast you can load this if you only shoot one cartridge at a time. So if you're on a flush, like I was a few years ago at Hodnett, West Midlands Shooting Ground, it was a 2-man flush. It was a 50 bird flush. We won it with 49 out of 50, and my partner shot 3 cartridges. That's how fast you can load the shot. Once you fire it once, one on the side, and away you go. They come in 28 and 30 inch barrels. I've never seen a 28 inch one yet. Multi-choke. You can have them with flush, extended. When I say you can get them, that's a bit of a lie in a way, because GMK, who are the importer of Beretta for the UK market, don't import them anymore, because apparently, as I just said, they were really unreliable. And they're not unreliable, only if you put poor ammunition in them. I've sold lots of these, and everybody that's ever bought one off me, I've never had one back, because I always say to anybody that has one, if you bring it back jammed up, it will tell me that you've used inferior ammunition in it. So we're going to go and shoot it and show you how it operates. We're going to shoot some Power Gold, which is perfect for it. It's a competition round, and I'm that confident this gun will work perfectly. So we'll see you in the next segment. Okay, we're going to shoot a couple of targets now with the Power Gold 28 gram 6.5. We're going to be shooting a going away first. Now the trap, and we've measured this properly, is 30 yards away, going away. So the clay starts at 30 yards and it's going to go away. So that's a hell of a long way out just to start off with, but it's a going away target. And then we're going to shoot a very long incoming bird. It is just the other side of 50 yards, that is. So we'll see you in the next segment. Paul. Paul. Okay, we're going to shoot an incoming bird now, but not what I call a corporate incoming bird. This is a long way out, quite a long way out. It's actually further out than Express recommend that you should shoot these at, but anyway, we're going to give it a go. Okay, as you'll see from the video footage, and anybody that's been to Oak Edge, I'm not standing in a cage. We're in a completely different part of the shoot. We're going to be shooting a bolting rabbit, and it's just over 40 yards away. Yeah, a bolting rabbit. So we're talking a clay that's extremely hard. So we're going to be shooting the Power Gold 6.5 to show you that it'll kill a rabbit at over 40 yards away. Going back to how we're standing here, we're out of cage. We're the only people at Oak Edge here anyway, so we're allowed to do this. We'll see you in the next piece. So in this section, I'm going to show you how to unload a jammed UGB. There is actually a fired shell in the barrel at the moment. It didn't jam it. It's just to show you how to undo it, and this is why they become very unpopular in the Marmite gun in the UK, because when it does fire and it jams and you go to open it by using that lever, and everybody's found this that's owned one of these and it's jammed because you've used rubbish ammunition, that is solid and you can't move it and you can't open the gun, and you can strip it down, pull the fore end off, take the bolt off. It is literally welded solid. So then you had to put them in a box, take them to a gun shop, send it back to GMK, who invariably then sent it to Italy. So your gun was away for months for something that literally takes a few seconds to do, to unload it. And it's not rocket science. So at the belly of a UGB, where your bolt is, there's a little 6mm thread there. Now I haven't got a 6mm bolt to help me assist this, but I do have a Land Rover Discovery key. Where that 6mm hole is, all I'm going to do is place the key in it, and we're going to operate the bolt twice. So we have to pull the bolt backwards towards the butt slowly, and what it does, it pulls the bolt back, and then when you let it go, the bolt creeps back towards the barrel, but it doesn't fully go back to the face of the chamber. It leaves a gap where we then have to use the same tool to go onto the front of the bolt, and then we have to operate it really fast. Sounds a bit confusing like it does, but anyway, the pictures will tell you everything. So I'm going to put the key in, pull this bolt back slowly. You'll see it's come back, and then I'm going to let it go gently, so I've not allowed the spring to take over completely. And you'll see there's a big gap here now with the same Land Rover Discovery key. Usually this happens straight away. Sometimes it might take you a couple of times, because really a screwdriver is even better, but we've got a Land Rover Discovery key today. So I'm going to put that in. We have to pull the bolt back as fast as we can. So we've got to try and get that cartridge out of the chamber. So with a bit of luck, there you go. Out, first go. Then you pull it, and there you go. So what's my conclusion of the Beretta UGB25? Well, I shoot one professionally. Do they deserve the reputation, the bad reputation they've got? No, they don't. And all of them that say that they are really bad and they don't work, you're wrong. I've proved it for years and years and years. As long as you shoot decent quality ammo from all of the ranges, from Express, Fiocchi, B&P, Hull, Game Ball, Cellular and Bellet, all that kind of competition grade. It won't fire 21-gram shells. And you don't really need to either, because you can shoot 24-gram in this all day long, and the recoil is virtually, probably less actually than shooting a 21-gram in a conventional over and under anyway. It's a multi-purpose gun really. I mean, this one is the Xcel trap, fully adjustable, and I shoot this at everything, every discipline that there is in clay shooting, and all I do is change the choke. So there you go. If you can find one, buy it. If you've got one and it's jammed, you know how to undo it. So Beretta UGB, that's why they called it. Beretta called it UGB, Ultimate Gun Beretta, and it has been an absolute workhorse and a half for me, and I can't ever see my changing anytime soon to an over and under full time. As long as this keeps working. Don't forget, I've had this one 10 years. Well done to Beretta and GMK. Start bringing them back into the country now that we've explained to the customers what you need to do to have a UGB working perfectly. But on that note, I'll see you again. So today's cartridge review, as you'll see from this footage, it's Power Gold. Now I've done Power Gold before, but not this Power Gold, because this is a 28-gram 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. And I bet you're going, well, why 6.5? And I'll come on to that in a second, why this has been loaded as a 6.5. We'll just take you through why this cartridge is so heavily used by competition shooters. We'll start with the ferrule, nickel plated, 16mm. So it gives absolutely outstanding ejection performance, where you get some cartridges that are a little bit thinner on the ferrule, and if you've been shooting a long time, it's bound to have happened to you where the cartridges slip past the ejector and they fall in. And anyway, the 16mm ferrule really solves that, and also looks really cool. The typical gold case that you see on all of the Express Power Gold range, including the 28 and the 24-gram plastic, and in the fibre load. Now, what I just said, plastic and fibre, this only comes in a plastic wad. You can't get this in a fibre. And why is it a 6.5? Well, quite simply, I'm going to use a man's name here now that, well, he's just one of the best shooters of all time. Richard Folds, who shoots for Lyalvale Express, uses the Supreme. Well, the Supreme is absolutely outstanding cartridge, and he uses 2 shot sizes. He uses 8s for nearly everything in sporting, but if you shoot enough sporting, especially on registers, you'll come across certain targets where you'll go, ooh, that's a bit difficult. Maybe it's edge on, a long way out. Generally, long way out, especially now that we're getting edge on targets and clays have changed, especially eco clays feel when you're shooting them like they're twice as hard as a conventional clay. Well, that's where we're at. But the Supreme range for a lot of people is just that little bit too far in the price. And where this is situated, the Power Gold in the competition range, is I can't think of any other brand at all, correct me if I'm wrong, that has actually got a 6.5 in that mid-range competition load. So if you've got a really long target or a very difficult edge on target, unless you're going to shell out a lot of money, there isn't really anything out there that I can think of, and I'm pretty sure that Express will have their facts right, because they said there isn't one either, that you need that extra size pellet to get that distance or that lethality. And this has got 6.5 tempered shot in it, so the lethality from this, kinetic wise, is astonishing. I've already shot these. Some of you that are going to see this video have already shot these as well, because they were at the AGL Lyalvale Masters and they were used on a very long incoming target. I actually think it was about 60 yards out. Anyway, it was a long way out, and the 6.5 that you shot at the Masters, if you were good enough, it hit it convincingly. The engine in this is, as with all the Power Gold range, is the Vecton AS powder, so we're talking about a very fast burning, super clean burn cartridge here. And that's pretty much what I've got to say about it here at the bench, because in the next segment, you're actually going to see what this will do at long range. So I'm not going to be doing my usual stuff when I'm shooting a dustbin lid to start with. We're going to be shooting a long range incomer, and we'll take it from there. So you'll get to see why this 6.5 is in the mid-range of competition cartridges for long range shooting. And I'll see you on the next stand. Paul. So, my review and opinion of the Lyalvale Express Power Gold 28 gram 6.5. I don't really have to say a lot, because the footage that you've just seen shows a lot. We've shot a rabbit at over 40 yards away. You don't see that very often. We've shot a going away clay, so we're hitting the top of the clay, which is quite hard to break. Just absolutely disintegrated that. And remember that going away clay, the one that's just going straight, that actually started its journey at 30 yards away from the gun and going away, and it wasn't fast enough to get out of the capabilities of this. We've shot a going away quartering edge on target, and that was a lot further out than the going away one as well, and the footage will show you there. That absolutely destroyed that, and that was, we would say, good 70 yards out when it's breaking, maybe a bit more. We've just finished off on a Shondelly kind of crosser, again well over 60 yards, more 70, and it creased up, absolutely murdered it. They do pattern tight, there's no doubt about that. The Alchemist did say to me that the wadding that's in here is designed to hold it together tight, and it does. Its performance level at long range is outstanding. It really is. It does exactly what they've asked it to do and designed it for. If you're on a registered shoot and it's a sensible shoot, then you've got a long target that's 60 yards away even, these will do it. There's no doubt about it. Will it catch on? I think it really will, actually, because this is, well, the only ones I can think of are the real top of the range ammunition, the very expensive stuff, and this sits in that market. There's a competition cartridge in that mid-range, and I can't, like I said before, think of a cartridge that does that. And this does, the Power Gold, and it's the same price as the 8s, the 7s and halves, so there's no difference in the price. Only comes in plastic wad though, so anybody thinks they might be getting some fibre to do other things with it other than clay shooting, you can't, because it only comes in plastic. Overall, as the footage shows you, this cartridge performed outstanding. We did do a little silly bit where we shot at clays that were no more than 15 yards away, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure if Harry, our cameraman, caught it, but there was a few of them where you powder a clay, there was not even any powder, it took the bits, the powder, the lot away. It just literally like a big hand had come up and it'd taken it away. But it's not designed for that, but of course it'll do that. So yeah, long range shooting, Power Gold 28 gram 6.5 is definitely the one to go for. And on that note, I'll see you again. Today I'm going to talk to you about a subject that really never talked about in the shooting world, and that's cartridge bags, range bags, things like that. This is one of my range bags that I use, which you can see is massive. I've got at least 4 sets of over the ear defenders in there, clothes, cartridges, everything. But it's not the sort of bag you'd walk around and shoot with. But these range bags are, because they're just the right kind of size. This range bag is from the company Fine Shooting and Accessories. The one I've got here is made of cowhide. You can have them with the ovals on or without, so that you can have your name embossed on it or any initials that you want. The colours that are available in Dark Havana, which is the one we've got here now, Ox Blood and Tan, and there's also a canvas option if you wanted something a little bit cheaper. The adjustable strap that you see that I've got in this video is what comes standard, but you can upgrade the strap to something else, leather if you wanted, 2 different colours, and you can see that online. Now this particular one here holds 200 cartridges in a central pocket. There's 200 cartridges in there. You're going to see some close-ups of this in a bit anyway. So I mean, 200 cartridges, that's a fair amount of ammunition, and you could probably get a bit more in there, but then you're into a weight issue. But if you've got 200 cartridges in a bag, really you're going to be able to shoot nearly any CPSA registered event that there is, and more. Even probably you could double it up if, let's say that you and your wife are shooting together, or you got a mate, whichever. Now the other thing is, because it's not too big, but it's not too small either, you can get other accessories in here. I mean, on this side here, I carry my Sens ear defender, so the whole box there, that sits in that pouch, that side of it, absolutely lovely. This side, I keep a set of my Magnex Evolution glasses, the ones I've got on here, again, sits in there lovely. And you'll notice that when you go around and shoot, nearly everybody's got a cartridge bag, and you really can't carry these sort of things with you. You know, you've got people with their ear defenders hanging off the strap of the cartridge bag, whereas this, you can take enough round with you, but without it being a massive lump like this is from the Fiocchi one. In here, I've got my tea chokes, sits in there lovely. I mean, it's got other pockets on it. I mean, you probably could get a scorecard in there, probably will. And you can decide what you want to put in it. Now, like I said, there's 200 cartridges in here. I can pick that up quite easily. You could hear the weight of that when it hit the ground. Well, the bench, sorry. Leather, full leather, nylon zips. Now, is that a good thing, good or bad thing? Really depends, really. The good thing about nylon zips, especially somebody like me who'd use something like this most days in the field on a clay shoot, when they get wet and they get dirty, nylon zips they clean up so much easier and quicker than the metal ones. So, but down to preference really anyway. This is a really well made bag. The stitching on it is absolutely spot on, and you'll notice with a lot of products that are out there, the stitching looks like it's been done by somebody that's just yeah, they just started out on their sewing machine skills. Now you could have it, as I just said, the two handles or this strap, which is adjustable. What I do like about this strap, and everybody will be familiar with this, a very simple clasp, and it's virtually indestructible. I mean, look, you'll see these on every dog lead that there is in the world virtually. I mean, that'll hold back a vicious Rottweiler. So you can really load this up and put this over your shoulder if you wanted to. Now, it also can double up as a very good game bag for when you're going game shooting as well. Ideal.
That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out our Facebook page for information on the next episode.